Hey everybody and welcome back to DM Andy Goes Live. I am going to play some Brawl. It's like EDH or Commander, only it's on Arena. The card pool is limited compared to what we do with real cards, but I have discovered something that I think is funny. Alright, so let's take a gander at the deck. I'm playing Ugin, Eye of the Storm, but I didn't really have all the cards. When you look online, there's a lot of XX spell cards and things like that in there. I just threw in a whole bunch of mana ramps or mana rocks, a couple ways to get extra lands out, a whole bunch of different cheap spells, and I'm going to use them so that, for example, Ornithopter. Ornithopter doesn't cost anything, so every time I throw an Ornithopter, Ugin will get rid of a permanent for me. So now, what has happened here that I think is so funny is it seems like half the players I go up against just quit. They don't want to play, they don't care, they're over it. They have no vested interest whatsoever in dealing with an Ugin deck. So, we're going to try this out. I need a few more for my dailies. You got to finish 15. You got to get 15 wins a day to get all your points. Okay, so we're going to start with two Wastelands, a Bonesaw, 0 drop, Mishra's Bauble, 0 drop, Solemn, Sad Robot, Gilded Lotus, and an Eldrazi. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand, and we're going to see what we can do. This is kind of a slow deck because it costs 7 to get Ugin out. But once you get him online, he's a beast. People do not like him. And they show it in the things that they say and do. I guess not say. You can only emote so much in this game. Alright, let's see what happens here. So far it looks like they're playing mono black. Alright, I drew a land. Cool. So, alright, I'm just going to hang on to this for right now. Might go ahead and throw Mishra's Bauble out. Sometimes I got to use the Bauble to try to draw into some lands. So we're going to look and see what I've got on top of my deck. It's a lands. Cool. So we're just going to hand the turn back over. We've got 3 lands out. We didn't draw any mana rocks this time. That's disappointing. We got the waste that we looked at our top deck earlier, and we got that off of the beginning of his upkeep off this Mishra's Bauble. Alright, so he played a Pristine Talisman, so he can tap it. It's a mana rock, of course. I think I should play with that one. I'm going to go ahead and cycle this guy, get another land, or draw a card, sorry. It's not land cycling, it's card cycling. Alright, Breaker of Creation. Alright, mana rock, cool. So let's throw out our waste. Let's throw out a Worn Power Stone, comes into play tapped. I'm going to hand the turn back over. They have 3 lands, we have 4 plus a mana rock that taps for 1. Oh, it taps for 2. It's a slow Soul Ring. The slow Soul Ring. Alright, he's got a 4/5. Feels like he's doing well, but this is when Ugin comes online. So we'll throw Ugin out. We'll go ahead and pop his creature. That is going to frustrate him. We've got the Bonesaw for free, so we're going to throw that out, which is going to activate Ugin. We're going to pop his enchantment. And there you go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is hilarious. People just up and quit. They rage quit. I'm not saying I think it's funny, even though it's really funny that I've had people playing rabbit decks that go long with me and they end up winning. Like they just get too wide for me too fast, and there's nothing I can do to stop them. So we're going to go back in for game 2. Game 2 in this live stream. For those of you who don't know, I'm Dungeon Master Andy. I do a lot of dungeon crafting for things like Gaslands, Dungeons and Dragons, 40K, stuff like that. All kinds of neat things with a hot glue gun and some cardboard. And over the years I've been doing this, I've slowly started just incorporating my video game habit into my channel. I figure everybody's a gamer. Everybody's got a little bit of this going on in their world. So I love Magic the Gathering. I've been playing it since the 90s, and I want to share the things I love on my channel. So, all right. So we got the Tomb of the Spirit Dragon, which occasionally works out really well, get you some life, keep you in the game. 2 waste, Chromatic Sphere, Wayfarer's Bauble, Kozilek, the Globe, and of course Ugin as our commander. So we're going to hand the turn over. I should have played the Wayfarer's Bauble there. I missed a step, guys. Look at me, spending all my time paying attention to you guys instead of paying attention to my hand. All right. Threw the mono white out. I've got an Emrakul in here, but I didn't realize Emrakul is kind of useless in this deck every once in a while. But half the time I'm playing, my opponent doesn't have any creatures. So it's kind of a dead card most of the time. On a very, very rare occasion, if they can handle Ugin and keep him off the board and under control, there's always a chance that it'll work. But I keep forgetting to take it out until I see it. But that's one of the things about Arena. You don't look at your deck as often as you would IRL cards. You know, in Magic the Gathering, people are constantly thumbing through their cards and sorting decks, and with this, you don't. It just seems like you don't do that as often. So, all right. So we're now setting at 5 lands, and there's the globe. So that gives us 6 on the turn. We're gonna go ahead and hand the turn over. Of course, I'm playing against the Charmed Apple. My wife has this deck. Mrs. Dungeon Master makes me play against this all the time, and I hate her. Not my wife. This card right here. I hate the Charmed Apple. She stacks all these. There you go. Stacks an aura. All that glitters. All that glitters gives her +1/+1 for each artifact or enchantment she controls. So here they come. They're just going to stack them, and then during her instep, she's going to smack me for the number of enchantments she controls, which she will also try to slap them on my permanents to keep me from attacking or tapping or activating something. Like, it can get real annoying real fast. Oh, no land, guys. That is never good. All right, let's go ahead and throw out the Hobbit bread. And that'll help us draw a card. And there's our land. Sweet. Not that it exactly helps me this turn, but the next turn, we're going to send the Snow White's wicked stepmother to the graveyard, well, back to her hand, to the ethereal hand graveyard. Well, that's not good. I think this black spell she just slapped on there, yeah, enchanted creature, it returns to the battlefield. All right, here come an assortment. They're tapped out, so let's go ahead and let them hit us, and then we're gonna wipe all this stuff out. Black-white doesn't have any, doesn't have Pact of Negation, so it's not like I have to worry about a counter spell here that's gonna stop me. But so we're gonna go ahead and pop him. Submit. That'll kill 1 enchantment, slow down her abuse. And go ahead and throw the Bone Saw. Yeah, let's go ahead and pop her. And that should bring her back. There you go. All right. Now, I am low on life here, so I think let's go ahead and do this. We'll throw a Chromatic Sphere down, pop the Charmed Apple one more time, and send it back to her hand. I love it. It's so fun. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw a card, give it +2, 2 loyalty counters to my Planeswalker, and it'll let me gain 3 life and draw a card. So we drew a Mind Stone. Again, a cheap mana rock. The mana rock helps attribute to me playing, getting more spells out, as well as it's a colorless spell, so it triggers Ugin. So Let's see what this person's going to do. They've got me down to 12, so they may hang in there and try to keep me at bay, but we will see. We're just going to stay at it and see what it gets us. All right, the clock's ticking. The struggle is real. Oh, look, Esper Sentinel. Nice. All right, they pass turn back. Let's Mind Stone. Knock that Esper Sentinel off the board, and this will probably be the moment. This is when they're going to get mad and quit. So I'm going to auto pay for that too, so that they don't draw a card. Oh, they didn't quit. How weird. That's different. I really thought they'd quit, you guys. So I'm going to gain 3 more life and draw another card. Got the Mind Staff, but I'm going to pass the turn because they don't have any permanents out I can kill with Ugin. So let's see what they do. 15 to 32. That 3 life and draw a card every turn really, really turns this game around because Ugin costs 7 to get it into play. So that early game, if they get underneath like Krinko the mob boss can, you can really, really find yourself in a struggle. But I can beat Krinko decks with this too. You just got to be patient and careful and hope you draw a couple of mana rocks in your process because you don't want to have to wait 7 turns to get Ugin online. So, all right, so they are not playing with us. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to throw Kozilek out there. We're going to target 2 players. And we're going to target ourselves. We're both going to manifest dread cards into play. And then, of course, I'm going to make an attempt to use my Planeswalker to get rid of theirs. Sorry if you can hear me drinking. I made myself a big, big cup of coffee. Made myself an iced coffee and trying to get myself all amped up for this video. You know, got to entertain the people. And to be able to entertain the people, you got to have the energy to entertain the people. You can't just come in this blindly, tired. See that? See how fat in the hand? That's what's up. All right. They're going to let my creature resolve, which is probably a nightmare for them at this point. But here we go. Check it out. Got the 1-drop, the Wizard's Rockets, which means a whole different... Oh, look at that. Those aren't colored permanents. Oh, whoops. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and use the ultimate ability. I'm going to search my library for any number of colorless non-land cards, exile them, shuffle my deck, and then return any of those cards to the battlefield without paying their mana cost. So, Ugin's back to my hand. And let's get out the Ceaseless Hunger. Let's get all these dudes online. You know what? Let's save a couple of things in case they want a Wrath of God. You never know. So let's go ahead and drop this. Cascading for 0, so, you know. I guess it still counts as 8, so that's funny. Okay, the Ceaseless Hunger. Let's go ahead and exile 2 permanents. That's why I did that, because Ugin couldn't get rid of colorless permanents. Man, now I don't want to play the Meteor Golem. The Meteor Golem's not going to hit anything. That's really sad. Let's just go next. And pass the turn and see what they're going to do. Because they're staring down their life total at this point. And, of course, Ugin's going to come right back out. Anything they put out to try to slow me down is going to get wiped off the board. There we go. They concede. Now, this time, that player actually, Scorch actually stuck it out. Like, that was an honorable concede right there because they didn't have anything in their hand that could deal with that next turn. But that first guy, he just gave up. I took something away from him, and he's like, I don't want to play anymore. This is no fun. I disagree with that sentiment. I think it's awesome. But all right, let's go to game 3. If you notice, we're already 2-0. We're not struggling at all to get Ugin out. We're not struggling to wipe their board with Ugin. And we're not struggling to win the game because, You don't have to take down their life total. They're going to concede. All right, so we got 3 lands, the Thopter, the Crypt, land cycling, and a Lantern. So we're essentially setting on 5 mana sources based on the hand we're looking at. Hey, look, we got the little beach ball. Ever since Arena has come out, it cracks me up how it's like Hearthstone and you can just click on things and play with them. They're trying to keep you preoccupied while your opponent's wasting time trying to decide what to do about Ugin. All right, basic land cycling gets us a waste, and we're going to pass the turn to the opponent. That was my turn 2, of course. Opponent's on turn 2. Uh-oh, playing them kitties. All right, let's go ahead and get the mana rock out, the old lantern. This lantern actually makes your lands tap for any color, so this turns all your lands into command towers. All right, pass the turn. Let's see what we're going to do here. If you hear a little noise in the background, there's a couple things going on near me. The dog's got a bone chew toy, and he's hitting it on the hardwood floor. And the wife is over there raiding in World of Warcraft, so she's super busy trying to get them vault openings over there in the WoW world. Okay, we're going to play some Sad Robot here, get us another land. So, as you can see, we're sitting at 6 mana sources. So next turn, we'll get Ugin, and we'll hope for the concession. On a Finza. This card was really cool, 10 years ago when it came out. That and the Siege Rhinos, that was a nightmare for a lot of players. We're going to go ahead and block with Sad Robot and hang on to our life total a little bit. Take 3, draw a card off Sad Robot, and it autoed to our turn somehow. So we're back at 6 mana sources, so we're going to go ahead and stick this creature out. I use this to sometimes untap things. Like if you get him early and you get the Worn Power Stone, you can use him to untap it, but that's at the beginning of your end step. He also helps to untap a creature that you've been using to kind of push your opponent's life total. So that way you still got something to block. Excuse me. All right. They're coming on strong. They're confident. They're very confident. Coming in with 7. Ooh, more than 7. Play a Reliquary Tower, and let's go online. Here we go, Ugin. Ugin's going to pop on a Finza. All right. We're going to let Ugin land on the board, and then we're going to throw the Crypt out and pop the Pridemate. We're going to pop the Ornithopter out, pop this Aspirant, and it's that simple. Haven't even paid anything yet, and their board's wiped. So we're going to go ahead and gain 3 life and draw a card because they've got me down to 11. Like I said earlier, it's really, really strong to be able to gain 3 life and draw a card when you're using everything else. Ooh, what we got here? Playing that Saga. All right. Resolve. Can't get rid of Ugin. He won't let you. All right, they used their whole turn for that. It's got to be discouraging. All right, go ahead and stick another even slower Soul Ring out and pass the turn. We're not going to attack. Ornithopter can't do a lot of damage. Throwing kites at people doesn't really do much. What is funny, though, is I have the Black Blade in here, which gives you +1/+1 for each land you control. And in later games, I've actually given the Black Blade to the Ornithopter and beat on my opponent with all this extra life. It's pretty funny. All right, Ugin's coming back online here. So, oh, no, I don't have 11. 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm one short. So let's go ahead and drop the Colossus with Cascade. Maybe we'll get lucky here. All right, I like that. Go ahead and pass the turn one more time. No attacks. Not throwing the kites at them. A replicating ring. Go ahead and let them have that. Destroy all creatures. Look at that. Now they're on the defensive, just trying to keep my board state down. And I mean, I didn't even have that much. I mean, a 7/7 is kind of brutal, but now it gets worse. Ugin online. All right, that is a snow artifact. It has no colors, so we're just going to use Ugin to gain a life and draw a card. And there it is. They conceded. They even had me down to 17, 23, and they still conceded, you guys. Can you believe it? I'm telling you, if you've had some trouble winning on Brawl, on Arena, if you love Commander, right now this is a great deck to play before it gets squashed by Wizards of the Coast and the Arena systems. I'm worried the devs might change the card or ban it even. But there we go. We went 3-0 there, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I totally had fun making it. Like I said, if any of you guys have any questions, feel free to stick them down in the comments. I will always answer questions. I always get back with everybody. Sometimes it may take me a day just because I didn't realize I had a comment. I don't keep my notifications turned on like I should, but I will be back with another deck idea at some point. Here's a shot of the deck if you want to, for some reason, maybe steal my deck list. It's a lot of fun, and it's not like the other decks you're going to find out there online if you're net decking and you're looking on, like, you know, Top MGT or just any of the tons of websites out there that publish decks for us. Mine's just different because I went with the cards I had, and I wanted to keep my casting costs really low. If you notice, 1, 2, and 3. This is where I like to live because it makes it easier to use Ugin to wipe your opponent's board. So, anyway, I am your favorite Dungeon Master, DM Andy, saying please like and subscribe, and I'll be back soon with more game nonsense